Guys, I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to ask this very simple question. Like, did the orange man think that he can actually win that Nobel Peaceful Prize? Like, it's just a question. And you know the funniest part of it? He didn't only lose it, he lost it to a woman in Venezuela. I'm sorry, honestly. Why I'm really laughing and this is cracking me up is because a lot of white folks are the one even mocking him, not even black people, right? Not even black people. Like, Magas to Magas are the one mocking him. Some of them were like, what was he thinking? Like, do you think you're going to win the Nobel Peaceful Prize? Like, I don't understand. Is this a... Welcome to the channel. Sonia here. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And lastly, for educational purposes, let's go ahead and roll out the clip so that you guys can see the hilarious and unfiltered reaction of white folks mocking their own. They cannot even help their own and like be like, oh my God, it's not supposed to be. It's not... Let's get right into this.
Can we talk about how insane this is? I'm sure by now you've heard that Donald Trump did not win the Nobel Peace Prize. Surprise, surprise, right? Of course, that orange piece of shit was never going to win the Nobel Peace Prize. But some of the reaction to him not winning the Peace Prize, it just shows you how insane, really, the entire world is now that the United States has elected this criminal as president. Let me read just a little bit of a Bloomberg article for you. Here's the headline: World awaits blowback as the Nobel slips from Trump's hands. In awarding the Peace Prize to Maria Corina Machado of Venezuela, the Norwegian Nobel Committee recognized, quote, a woman who keeps the flame of democracy burning amid a growing darkness. Now just take that sentence for a minute. Can you think of anything that is more opposite, just the complete opposite of Donald Trump? Everything that Donald Trump is not, or everything that Donald Trump hates, a woman who keeps the flame of democracy burning amid a growing darkness. Donald Trump is the growing darkness. Let me continue. It's hard to predict how that will go down with a U.S. president who famously prefers to keep the spotlight on himself. To Donald Trump, the announcement that the Nobel Peace Prize has once again been awarded to someone else risks registering as the latest ignominy in a lifetime of rejection by elites. The question is how he might register that indignation. And I just want to read one final little part of this thing here. This is where it really is insane. In Norway, politicians are bracing for the possibility Trump might punish the country through tariffs or targeting the country's sovereign wealth fund. More generally, world leaders will be watching to see if the loss drives Trump away from joint diplomatic efforts. I mean, just think about that. In Norway,
if you needed a laugh today, let me bring your attention to the fact that Donald Trump legitimately thought that he was going to win a Nobel Peace Prize. And he got snubbed today, and his office is pissed about it. Here's what one of his advisors tweeted: President Trump will continue making peace deals, ending wars, and saving lives. He has the heart of a humanitarian, and there will never be anyone like him who can move mountains with the sheer force of his will. The Nobel Committee proved they place politics over peace. I literally was laughing out loud when I read that line. He has the heart of a humanitarian. Like, be so fucking for real right now. Donald Trump literally represents the opposite of peace and humanity. Like, the fact that they really thought that this man was going to win that prize is insane. And to make it even funnier, when they were interviewing the Nobel Committee chair and asking them like why Donald Trump wasn't selected, essentially, he said, "We only honor people with courage and integrity." Gag.
President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize and he'd like to have it. He even said that it would be an insult to the United States if he doesn't get it. What does as the chairman of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee think of this, and how has this campaign-like activity by the president and his supporters, domestically and internationally, affected the deliberations and the thinking in the committee?
In the long history of the Nobel Peace Prize, I think this committee have seen any type of campaign, media attention. We receive thousands and thousands of letters every year of people wanting to say what for them leads to peace. This committee sits in a room filled with the portraits of all laureates, and that room is filled with both courage and integrity. So we base only our decision on the work and the will of Alfred Nobel.
And the woman who actually won the Nobel Peace Prize represents everything that is the opposite of Donald Trump. She was the opposition leader in Venezuela, and she helped with the transition from dictatorship to democracy. Again, everything opposite of what Donald Trump represents.
Trump loses Nobel Peace Prize he shamelessly campaigned for. God damn. Okay. Take note, every other publication. Take note of Time magazine here, who wrote a headline like everyone should be written. You know, a news article not caving into the fucking halfway deflated orange balloon. I kind of want to get a jack-o'-lantern and make this the design, this face. No one, and I mean no one, would come knocking at our door on Halloween. Let me tell you, they'd be too afraid. The Norwegian Nobel Committee, which on Friday said the recognition was going to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and her struggle to achieve just a peaceful transition from a dictatorship to democracy. Kinda sounds like the opposite of someone else we know. Now, he hasn't huffed and puffed in all shouty caps on Truth Social, but he did thank President Putin. This war lost credibility. The committee discussed the prize for people who have done nothing for the world. He solves complex problems, crises that last for decades. I will get you, moose and squirrel. Thank you, President Putin. Can't wait for our slumber party next week. Finally, I just want to leave this right here. I want to just, let it permeate, let it fill the room, right, if you will. That's it. Look at that, see? That's Barack Obama, President Barack Obama, who won the Nobel Peace Prize. So, just take it in. Take it in, Trump supporters. Take it in, chew it. Spit it out if you want to, that's fine. It won't make him lose his Nobel Peace Prize if he won. Bet Trump didn't win, So, sucks to suck, huh? I mean, he wouldn't know. He doesn't suck, so. Won the Nobel Peace Prize, better president, more well-liked by like 1,000 miles. 1,000,000 miles more well-liked. More respected. Certainly far more intelligent. More educated. And a true winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. Barack Obama. Man, is there anything that Obama isn't better at than Trump? I wonder. No. Trump runs for a third term. I think Barack Obama should also try it, Just to mop the floor with him a little bit, Well, a lot of it, really. Nobel Peace Prize winner, President Barack Obama. Just tastes so good.
Breaking news, as President Trump did not win the Nobel Peace Prize. Shocker! It instead went to Maria Corina Machado, the Venezuelan opposition leader who promotes democracy throughout the country in opposition to their dictator Maduro. And this has Maga freaking out. Trump had been actively campaigning for this award and had lots of other world leaders essentially giving him the nomination and asking the Nobel Committee to award it to him. And Maga is not happy, and they are losing it over this. We have yet to hear what Trump has to say about this, so we are awaiting his response. I think what's really got MAGA world upset about this is Trump lost to a woman who is Latina and represents what all these immigrants are that Trump is actively trying to remove from this country. When asked why Trump didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel Committee chair said this.
This committee sits in a room filled with the portraits of all laureates, and that room is filled with both courage and integrity. So we base only our decision on the work and the will of Alfred Nobel.
We only give the award to people of courage and integrity. And they're saying Trump is not one of those people. I mean, let's just be real here. Trump is turning the U.S. military on its own citizens in various cities throughout the country, causing violence and unrest. How the hell are you expected to win the Nobel Peace Prize when you're doing that? Sure, you might be brokering some peace deals in other countries, but when you're causing your own country to not be at peace, how the hell are you supposed to win with that? Let me know what you guys think about this. Comment, like, share, spread the word, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
It is so funny to watch the MAGA Republicans melt down over Donald Trump not winning the Nobel Peace Prize. The committee announced that they were giving the award to Maria Corina Machado for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and her struggle to achieve a democracy. And that has sent some of the biggest names in MAGA politics over the edge. Laura Loomer said, "Imagine thinking a woman who cries nonstop about Maduro has done more for the world than Trump. What a joke." Megyn Kelly said, "Roger Ailes never even allowed anyone to submit for an award because he understood how meaningless they were." It's so funny that they're calling it meaningless, because if Trump would have won the award, they'd say it's the best thing ever. Stephen Chung, a senior advisor to Trump, said the Nobel Committee proved they place politics over peace. I don't know. Benny Johnson even cited Vladimir Putin to back up his argument, because Putin said that the award has lost all credibility. What? All day, the MAGA fans have been in a total spiral. And look, I'm going to be honest with you, I've enjoyed every second of it.
Well, as of this morning, the Nobel Peace Prize winner has been announced, and it is this Maria Machado from Venezuela. So I imagine that Donald Trump is probably crying in a corner right now. First off, a woman beat him. Second, it's a Venezuelan. You know, the country that he's been attacking the citizens off the shore of. And so far, no post from Donald Trump, no response. So I would say he's crying in a corner and seething right now. I'm sure that he is trying to come up with some sort of response, and it's going to be hateful as hell, I am sure. But good for her. She was very deserving of the award, and it looks good on Fat Man in the White House.
The 2025 Nobel Peace Prize did not go to Donald Trump. Instead, it went to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. She won this in her fight to try to restore democracy inside of Venezuela, with the Nobel Committee calling her a brave and committed champion of peace who kept the flame of democracy alive even under a dictatorship. And while the Trump administration and his team was not happy by this, they responded back by saying that the Nobel Committee, they placed politics over peace, and added that he'll keep making deals, ending wars, and saving lives. Since returning to office, Donald Trump did push several peace efforts, including a ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas, trying to mediate between Ukraine and Russia, and just 2 days ago, he did announce a plan for peace inside of Gaza. So do you think that Donald Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, or do you think the committee made the right call? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll be sure to keep you updated, so please do share my videos and follow me for more.
Putin blasting the Nobel Committee for not giving Trump the Peace Prize. That's a story worth some context, you know? First, the Nobel Peace Prize isn't a trophy you win by lobbying or social media campaigns. It's awarded by a committee that considers tangible contributions to peace and justice and conflict resolution. Second, when a political leader calls out the committee over someone not receiving the prize, that sounds less like humility and more like grievance politics. It raises the question, who is diverting attention and why? Finally, and most importantly, we live in a moment where real peace work is being done by grassroots voices, daring negotiators, and everyday people risking power structures. The headlines often favor drama, not real greed. So yes, it's notable that Putin is making noise about this, but let's not lose sight of what peace actually requires: accountability, humility, and putting humanity ahead of ego. And you tell me, does Trump have any of that?
Donald Trump did not get the Nobel Prize this morning, and he and the White House are hopping mad, claiming it was a DEI hire because a Latino woman got the prize. She's the opposition leader in Venezuela, Maria Corina Machado, and they said she didn't deserve it, Trump did. Now let's remind you who gets the Nobel Peace Prize. The person who shall have done the most or the best work for fraternity between nations and the abolition or reduction of standing armies and the formation and spreading of peace congresses. Donald Trump, building up the military more, Department of War come to mind. Fraternity between nations, he turned on the entire world. They hate us now. He's also threatened war 8 or 10 times now. Greenland comes to mind, among other things. He's also declared war on us domestically. And peace, maybe with Israel. We'll see with Gaza. Let me show you what Trump's White House is claiming about the award. Here's Trump's communication director, Stephen Chung, parroting North Korea. President Trump will continue making peace deals, ending wars, and saving lives. He has the heart of a humanitarian, and there will never be anyone like him who can move mountains with the sheer force of his will. The Nobel Committee proved they place politics over peace. First of all, really good idea to attack the Nobel Committee. I love that because good way to get the prize. By the way, it was too late for... We knew this was going to happen. It was too late for Trump to get the prize this year, especially for Gaza. They've got to have the nominations in by like February 1st. This Gaza thing happened in the last 2 days. It was too late. But we knew Trump was so dumb that he was going to go, I'm angry, I didn't get it. And now they're attacking the Nobel Committee. He had a chance next year. They've now attacked the committee. And then Trump's top advisor, Laura Loomer, said this. Imagine thinking a woman who cries nonstop about Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela has done more for the world than President Trump. What an absolute joke. Everyone knows President Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. More affirmative action nonsense. So they're calling her a DEI hire. And of course, you know, Trump's losing it because a Latino woman beat him. Now, why does Trump say he deserves the Nobel Prize? Because he claims, I've solved 8 or 9 wars. Millions of people would have died in India and Pakistan. No, they wouldn't. India and Pakistan had a skirmish for one day. One bombed one bombed the other. That was it. And India even Trump claimed credit for resolving it, and India goes, no. Millions would have died. Then there's the larger issue of, even if Trump did solve some wars, do you give the Nobel Prize to a racist, fascist, warmongering criminal? Do you? I mean, Trump is the worst president in American history. He's a criminal. He's an authoritarian. He's a fascist. He's trying to eliminate democracy in America. He has created animosity all over the world. He's declared war multiple times now already, right? He's blowing up people in the Caribbean illegally, committing war crimes. He attacked Iran. I'm all for going after Iran, but that was, you don't get a Nobel Peace Prize for declaring war on Iran. Do you really get the Nobel Peace Prize when you're a warmonger? Really? Not to mention he declared war at home. In a year, by the time they do the next award, we could no longer have democracy in this country. We could have we've already got fascism. We could have a full-out dictatorship in this country. He could already have called off the election at that point, because the election will be next year at this time. Gavin Newsom of California says he thinks it's getting called off. Final point here. You know who deserves the Nobel Prize? Gavin Newsom and Governor Pritzker. The resistance deserves the Nobel Prize. Just like in Venezuela, they picked the resistance to autocratic dictators to get the Nobel Peace Prize. Who should be nominated next year is every single one of you and every single one of us. And that will surely tick Trump off, but that is somebody who is meritorious of getting the Nobel Peace Prize. And we just may.
Welcome back, guys. I'm so sorry if I'm laughing, because I know that my laugh can actually trigger a lot of people out there. But am I surprised that he didn't actually win that? No, I'm not surprised. Like, why do I need to be surprised that he didn't win it? Let's be honest. Like, what is the orange man winning the Nobel Peaceful Prize for? Like, has he really been peaceful? That's the question. Has he really been, like, who gave him that hype? Who gave him that hope? And you know the saddest part is the fact that he actually lost it to a woman like me. Yeah. He lost it to a woman, not even to a fellow man. You know, it is even more acceptable and better that you are losing a particular thing that you've really hoped for, that you think that you're going to be winning. You're losing it to a man, your fellow man, and it's understanding that this is just competition. But losing it to a woman in Venezuela, it got me picked. It got me saying the God of black people is still doing the job of punishing a lot of people. The God of black people is still doing that particular job. were they thinking? I saw some of the videos that some Magas anyways, some Magas that really felt the pains for him. They were melting down in sorrows and tears, and then they were like, he is supposed to win it. He is supposed to do it. The question is how? How is he supposed to win it? What has he done that is so peaceful? Is it just this recent, ever since he just started this new regime of presidency, every single country have been having one problem with Americans or the other? Is it that he's busy bringing ICE agents to start acting as warriors? They're no longer acting as policemen, or they're no longer acting as people that are on uniform. Now they're acting as warriors. I saw a video this morning where ICE agents were literally dragging this woman out of her car. Like, they were dragging her. Before they started dragging her, the woman was driving. They were also driving and making sure that their own car is going to face her. Just imagine something just happened and there's an accident. Then what will happen? And after dragging this woman, the woman showed them, they realized that the woman is a legit citizen. A legit citizen. She's not an immigrant. So they will say, okay, she's an illegal immigrant or this or that. Now, the simplest thing that these people can actually still say as ICE agents is you have to go to the station, despite the fact that this person is actually a citizen. So where is the peace coming from? Or do we start counting from the tariffs? What tariffs have actually done literally to not only American citizens, but to other nationwide that are supposed to be doing business in peace, harmony, and unity and moving on with their life? Do we talk about the food stamp queens who depend on food stamps and do not literally want to do any single thing, and right now everything is being cut away from them? Do we talk about the farmers who have been crying literally every single day, soliciting for funds because they can no longer feed their family, they can no longer do their day-to-day activities? Do we talk about those ones that flood has taken over their environment, natural disasters has done a lot of things to them, but at the end of the day, nobody cares about visiting them and making sure that they are safe? Or do we talk about the one that Baba of the National Federation said he is going to be cleaning the Washington, D.C., not even minding the fate of those, how they are going to survive or cope? Which do we really talk about? Do we talk about the one that he's in support with Israel? Do we talk about what Gaza has actually been crying? Like, what do we really, just mention one thing for me that we can literally talk about and we'll say that this regime was actually a good regime, that we make this man have his hope so high, to the point of some of his Maga's people actually dropping a tweet that, oh, he is going to bring the prize home. Shame on you people. Shame on you people. He did not bring the prize. He did not only lose it, he did not only lose it, he lost it to a fellow woman like me. He lost it to another gender entirely. That is a slap on his face and the face of the administration. That is a slap on white supremacy. It is. In fact, if I were to be him, I would never have even contested or even go for that stuff, because I know that I was never peaceful. Like, he has never been peaceful. Every single thing about black people pissed him off so much. He is highly racist profile. So tell me, where is the peacefulness that is coming from that is making him to go and compete with a woman like me? How I wish the woman that actually won this is actually a black woman, so that I can literally just even laugh him more. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit belongs to original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And guys, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like, comment, and share. And we do not support any form of violence or fights here. We're just here to add our opinion. Feel free to correct me in the comment section. I stand a chance to be corrected. And guys, with no further ado, like I say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you. Mwah. Do not touch the die.